Hello guys, Mr. Wednesday here, back at it with the part 2 of the Arena Masterclass series. Now in today's video I'll see if we'll cover all the masteries or just half of them, and then we'll return back with the part 3 depending on how long this takes. Now in the first part we have covered synergies when it comes to the arena, we have covered what's champions and what's the logic behind making some of the teams. In today's video, we'll be covering what masteries do you want on some of those champions. So let's talk nukers first. Let's say you're going with a nuker. Now, if you actually build your champion and you end up with excess crit rate, you can always come back, reset the masteries, and go for the attack here. I know many people will recommend Deadly Precision as your first mastery, and that's only if you can get to exactly 100% crit rate or if you're struggling to get there. If you have access, go back, check the Blade Disciple here basically, and take the attack. Now let's say we're going with crit rate. We're obviously going to be going into crit damage. Now, the next mastery is going to differentiate based on if you're going first, or actually if you're planning on going first, or you're planning on going second. If you plan on going first, you could go with Heart of Glory, which will increase your basically damage when you're attacking with full HP, or you can go with basically something like this, like increase damage by 5% again, but when you're attacking with 50 HP, 50% HP or less. So that's something that's going to be based on the team you're building. I'm not gonna advise here heavily what you should take or not, because it's obviously very versatile and very changeable. You could always go with Shieldbreaker if you're planning on using a nuker for strictly perhaps somebody who hasn't who will be bringing in shields, especially in today's arena where we have a lot of Brognis, who is top tier in arena if you ask me. Shieldbreaker is very valuable. Let's say we're going with a go first nuker, so we'll take this. We'll definitely take Whirlwind Death for two reasons, because first of all, I do want to be able to take Ruthless Ambush as well. But then again, let's say you're going against a team where you nuke down, let's say, 3 champions, then they revive because you could not nuke down the whole team straight away. Perhaps you met a Duchess who's very tanky, she revives everybody. Now your nuker has plus 18 speed to the speed you already had on him, so he'll come back to be able to nuke again faster. Now, Ruthless Ambush is terrific because it will increase the damage inflicted by 8% on the first hit on each enemy. Now, Life Drinker and Single Out are terrific, just not for the arena. So I'm not even gonna explain those to not prolong the video. Then we have Wrath of the Slain, increases the damage inflicted by 5% for each dead ally, stacks up to 10%. Again, very situational, you could take it. It's not a bad mastery, but it's gonna be definitely based on the team you'll be making. Now, Cycle of Violence is awesome, especially if we're talking about the champions who have already low the cooldown on their skills and you want to come back to the skill faster. Perhaps it's a single target nuker like sorry guys, my microphone decided to for some reason stop working, so we're back. So perhaps you have or any other type of nuker who has a skill you want back from cooldown faster. Cycle of Violence is really great for that. Now, Opportunists is something very situational based on the team you're building. If you'll be using a champion who places Stun, True Fear, Freeze, again, any of these debuffs, in that case I do advise taking it because it will increase the damage you'll be outputting basically by 12%. If you're not, I would be going with Wrath of the Slain. Again, it's gonna be strictly based on what you're planning on using. When it comes to Methodical, again, not great for the arena, neither is Bring It Down, unless you're talking strictly about some cases, in which case you could take it. Basically, you could go like this. It's going to be definitely based on, again, as I said, your nuker, your champion. What team are you planning on building? Is it perhaps, if it's a HP type champion, like let's say Magnar, who's a terrific nuker if you ask me, he's HP based when it comes to damage, so you will have a lot of HP on him. So the logic of you betting that, let's say, your 85, 90k HP Magnar will be having less HP than other champions on the opponent's team is very small. so not something I would personally do. Then again, as I said, methodical, not ideal here. Blood Shield doesn't really do much for you, especially if it's a non-HP type of nuker. Let's say it's your attack type of nuker. Let's say you're bringing in, I don't know, Sinesha, who I'm just basically taking for any example in these videos. Or let's say it's Kendraphon. You have 20k HP, 25k HP on him, 30, whatever, and you slap 15% shield on him. It's not gonna be really beneficial. You'll still get nuked down by the other nukers on the opponent's team, so not really something that's gonna help you a lot. Now, Stoke to Fury here is an amazing mastery if you're planning on maybe using somebody like Gerbtak, who is going to be placing debuffs on you. Because it will increase the damage output for each debuff on your champion. So again, something very situational, so I'm not really gonna recommend taking it or not taking it. Like, generally, it's going to be based again a lot on the champions you'll be planning on using. So let's say we're going for kill streak here, and let's say we're going for nothing else actually, because I'm going to explain what other masteries you can take for your nuker. You're obviously going to always be ending up in Hum Smasher. Now let's say we're going for a defense tree here as well. We could get something like resistance into rejuvenation, into resurgent, into delay that, and then into 2 counterattack masteries. On your nuker, this type of build is fine, especially for your blender team. For your blender team, I would 100% advise on taking something like this, so you get to counterattack more, right? Again, it's gonna be very situational. It's very based on your own champions you're planning on building, so it's not something I'm just gonna heavily say you should or should not do. But that's basically all when it comes to nukers. Now, as we explained the whole offense tree here, I'll go into defense, and then we'll actually see if we'll perhaps leave support tree for the last. Or actually, I'm gonna go support tree this time around. So let's say we're talking your debuffers or revivers or healers. That's the 3 type of champions you will always want a support tree on. I'm gonna show off here really quickly what kind of trees you can perhaps take on your debuffer. So let's say you're going for anybody who's going to be placing debuffs, who is going to be stealing, either stealing buffs you have on the opponents, or just trying to take them out, basically cleanse them off. You will want a tree like this. Basically, accuracy up top, into more accuracy, into more accuracy. Lord of Steel is terrific. It will increase your speed, accuracy on that type of champion. Evil Eye is just a great addition because you will already have a lot of accuracy on the champion to be able to do the skills he or she has. So it only makes sense to also take Evil Eye to be able to decrease the turn meter on the opponents through the A1. Sniper is something you should take if you do not have 100% chance on a skill for that champion. And then Master Hexer is also awesome if you're trying to prolong a debuff that a champion is placing. Obviously ending up in Eagle Eye, which is going to increase the accuracy by 50%. Now, what you can otherwise do here is actually take a different tree. Let's say, again, we're going for accuracy, and then we go to this. Basically, anytime somebody is killed, you get healed. Let's say we're talking a champion who's placing debuffs, but also buffs, and who maybe also has a chance to revive, or maybe has a chance to heal you, and you just want to increase their turn meter more. You'll be going for rapid response, which is going to have a 30% chance of increasing the turn meter by 10% when a buff is removed or expires. And then also Arcane Celerity, which does the same thing but for debuffs. And then your basically tree otherwise ends in the same way. Now that's strictly when we're talking debuffers. Now when we're talking somebody who does not need accuracy, but is perhaps your healer or a shield champion or a reviver, you can go for Steadfast here. Sorry guys. You could go for Steadfast into, let's say, Shield Bearer to increase the value of shields, or into Lay on Hands, which will increase the heals, right? And then let's say we're going for healing this time around. We go there, we go to healing saver. Now from here we can actually choose a couple of different things. Because Merciful Aid, if you ask me, is terrific, but it's very situational. It's basically going to be increasing the amount of healing by 15% if you have stun, sleep, fear, true fear, or freeze on your champion. Now again, it's very situational. It's in a team. It's basically debuffs you do not want to be having on yourself in arena. So if you're going first, you will not have them, and if you're going second, unless you're not using a cleanser, which you should be, you again will not be having these debuffs on you. If you have a block debuff champion, again, you will not have them. So it's a very situational type of mastery. Now, Cycle of Magic is not bad, it's not ideal, but I would take it in this sense to, again, get a lot of steel. And then from here, you can actually go into Spirit Haste. I use Spirit Haste on all of my champions that either heal or revive people, because I do want to have more speed, right, as people die, so that I can either heal others or revive somebody. And then again, if you're also placing buffs that are very beneficial and that you want on your champions for a longer time, Lasting Gifts is a terrific option. When it comes to tier 6 here, I would never take Elixir of Life, at least not in my opinion. You can get 3k HP through other means. Please do not waste a tier 6 mastery just to get 3k HP. Now, on in a Steam that synergizes in the way I explained for Cardinal, you should go for Timely Intervention, given that it will increase the turn meter. Basically, whenever somebody drops below 25% HP. People also like taking Oppressor on champions that really place a lot of debuffs. That's again something very situational, so I'm not going to be going into that here. It's going to be strictly based on the champions you're choosing it for, but in general, I would be taking Timely Intervention or Eagle Eye if you're planning on taking a tier 6 mastery from the support tree. Now, so we do not prolong the video any further, and given how much explanations defense tree needs, I'll leave that for the third part of the series. And we'll also mention some other stuff, so we again do not clog up the later on videos. So I just want to thank you all here again. Much love. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, and basically until the next video, which will be dropping tomorrow. Mr. Wednesday, signing out.